We have breaking news as the New York Rangers have officially made a huge signing, and this is perfect because this player is ready to make the jump to the NHL and make an impact at the NHL level. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest, but before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 68% of you who watch these videos are not actually subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with the New York Rangers, the latest rumors, the latest news, the latest reports, all that fun stuff, it's free. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. But it is official. I talked about it in a video earlier today that the signing of Gabe Perreault to his 3-year ELC, his entry-level contract, may come sooner rather than later, and it was sooner rather than later. They've officially signed Gabe Perreault to his 3-year entry-level contract. And again, we talked about it earlier today that this looks like it may come down. A lot of, the NCAA free agents are being signed and picked up by numerous teams around the league. And one trend that we have been seeing is the ELC has been pushed back or delayed a year, and these players are signing ATOs to play in the AHL. And we were talking about how Gabe Perreault and his agent, they didn't want to go that route, right? And that's the one thing that came out. Not only, did he sign the contract, we're going to get into the specifics of the contract, the specifics of the player in a second, but the one thing that stood out to me through all of this and reporting it first was Molly Walker, that the Rangers have made it official. He is signed to his 3-year entry-level deal, but he's not going to the AHL. He's not going to the Hartford Wolfpack. Gabe Perreault will report to New York and will play for the New York Rangers this season. Now, this is a big deal because he could get into the lineup as soon as Wednesday against the Minnesota Wild, right? That's a big game. The Rangers have a handful of games left. Teams like the Montreal Canadiens, every team really in the playoff race has games in hand on the New York Rangers. They essentially have to win out if they want to make the playoffs at this point. And this is a guy that we're going to get into expectations in a second, but we need to pump the brakes a little bit. He's not going to turn the entire season around, but he is going to inject some youth into the lineup, some skill, and by all accounts, we'll get to it in a second, he's too good for other levels of hockey. So we'll break that down in a second, but again, he's officially signed his entry-level contract with the New York Rangers. Boston College was eliminated in a bit of an upset. It was expected that he was going to go to the final or a little bit further, of course, and obviously this was not necessarily expected at this point. We've seen guys, join teams in the playoffs, teams that they're drafted to in the playoffs once their NCAA season finishes or they win the championship, what have you. But his season ended a little bit earlier, and this is perfect timing for the Rangers. Again, he's not going to single-handedly win them games. Let's make that perfectly clear. But he's a really good player, and I'm excited to watch this guy play, and I do wonder if he even gets top-line minutes like we covered in a video earlier today with JT Miller. I think that would be super exciting, and to have him maybe up there with Brennan Othman, who's another guy who's been playing really, really well for the New York Rangers as of late. So just to get into this, from Peter Baugh, he can confirm by all reports that Gabe Perreault will sign his ELC with the Rangers, and he'll be an RFA. This is another big piece of this because he's burning a year of his ELC by playing this year, which is something that him and his agent were pushing for. Obviously, they could have pushed it back. You could have went to Hartford, but, like Will Smith says here, former teammate who now plays with the San Jose Sharks, I think he's ready for pro hockey whenever he wants. So by all accounts, from former players or former teammates, I should say, and obviously former coaches and all that, they're all saying that he is ready for the NHL. He can make the jump. So again, this is pretty exciting. Yes, you're burning a year of his ELC, but if the Rangers can squeak into the playoffs, which, listen, they're right there. They're right there in the race right now. If they can squeeze into the playoffs, getting this guy some playoff experience in the NHL could pay off. Could absolutely pay off. And again, he will be an RFA the summer of 2027 rather than 2028. Now, in terms of expectations, I saw this tweet in the midst of everything. We have to be careful about expectations. This guy is not, a superstar right now coming into the NHL. He's coming into the NHL at the end of the season, right before the playoffs, and he's never played in the NHL before, right? And yes, he's a former first-round pick and all of that, but let's, pump the brakes on the expectations a little bit. It's going to be fun. But to say that he should come in and score 2 goals a game, all of this stuff that needs to be a point-a-game player, it might not happen. And I just mentioned maybe he plays on the first line. We'll see. With his skill set, the Rangers cannot make the same mistakes that they were making with Capo Caco and Alexis Lafreniere and all these guys and all these prospects that they don't know how to develop as an organization. They cannot make the same mistake with Gabe Perreault. This guy needs to come in and he needs to play in the top 6 immediately. That needs to happen. Laviolette needs to figure it out. Whatever pairings you want, even if you put Lafreniere down on the third line, I don't care at this point. figure it out. Gabe Perreault needs to play in your top 6. Lafreniere hasn't been playing good. And you need to give this guy every opportunity possible to succeed coming into the NHL. And it looks like he's going to play Wednesday. It's pretty exciting stuff already, but let's manage the expectations. But on the other side of things, you can get a little bit excited, right? And, they obviously, this article is from earlier today. They were in talks to sign top prospect Gabe Perreault. They've officially done that since he was eliminated. And Perreault was expected to be in New York tomorrow, but he ended up signing today. And, a former coach, one college coach, goes out and says, and this article is great. Go check this out. Great work from Molly Walker as well. He's too smart for college hockey. Now, college hockey, there's a big gap between college hockey and the AHL. Of course, we know that, right? But by all accounts, everyone's saying that he's ready. Everyone who's played with him, coached him, saying he is ready to make that jump. Now, is he going to come in and be Connor McDavid for the New York Rangers? We don't know. Like, maybe he's going to, catch fire early and he's going to be great. We don't know. And I'm staying overly optimistic at this point in time, right? But let's not get on the guy for not scoring in his first game. That's all I'm trying to say. But I think he's going to be great, and he's going to inject some youth and something fresh into the lineup. We always see it around the league every trade deadline. The first game after the trade deadline is so exciting because you have a couple new players, and it was for the Rangers. Difficult results, right, earlier this month, but nonetheless, I am excited to see him play with the Rangers, and this is something to look forward to. And I mean, the accolades this season in the NCAA, unbelievable. He had another fantastic season, and in 2 combined seasons with Boston College. Again, keep in mind, he is a bit of a smaller forward, but the speed, the skill is all there. We saw that at the World Juniors as well, besides, Boston College, what he's done there. But in the last 2 seasons, he has a combined 108 points. He has 35 goals and 73 assists in 73 games. He had 108 points in 73 college games. And among all NCAA skaters over the last 2 seasons, Perreault ranked tied for 2nd in assists and 3rd in points in the entire NCAA. So in his freshman season, which was 23-24, he skated in 36 games. He had 19 goals, 41 assists. And again, we can take a look at his stats here as well. Incredible numbers, right? And he was playing at the U.S. National Development Program before that. Obviously, when he was drafted by the New York Rangers in the first round, 23rd overall in 2023. And then he went to Boston College after that. And the rest is history. Now he's with the New York Rangers. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do with the team. And again, Perreault was named to the the second All-Star All-American team, the Hockey East second All-Star team, the New England All-Star team. All of these accolades this year in the obviously in Boston College. He's been playing some great hockey. So very excited to see this player play, and some specifics on the contract. Again, it's an ELC. It's nothing crazy like it's free agency or anything like that. But he is he's represented by Pat Brisson. And again, this is kind of a breakdown from Puckpedia. Shout out to Puckpedia. Always some great stuff over there. And this is kind of, the breakdown of what's expected from the signing bonus. Things could change. I'll break that down in another video. But all in all, this is great news for the New York Rangers. You have a new player who's going to be on the roster. And I wonder who comes out for this player. Are you taking anybody who's on the 4th line out? Are you taking Brendan Othmann out? I don't know if you can. Othman's been playing pretty well. Who do you take out of the lineup? I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I don't know, it could be Chris Kreider at this point in time. Maybe Chris Kreider comes out of the lineup. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the lineup Wednesday, but one thing's for sure, I will be watching. Rangers fans will be watching because they're still pushing for the playoffs. Now, this guy's coming in. It's going to be exciting. And I wonder if he do, maybe JT Miller flanked by Brendan Othmann and maybe Gabe Perreault as a first line. I don't know. I'm just saying. They've been playing well. So we'll see how this turns out. And obviously Vincent Trocheck up the middle on the second line as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what Peter Laviolette does with the lineup. I will be pretty upset if Gabe Perreault debuts on the 3rd or 4th line. You have to give him the best chance possible to succeed. So we'll see what the team does. It's exciting. They're pushing for the playoffs, and I think this is fantastic if you can somehow squeeze into the playoffs and get Gabe Perreault some playoff experience for the New York Rangers. But let me know what you think of the signing, him coming over this season, burning a year on his ELC. I have to say I'm staying optimistic about this, and I do like the move, and I'm excited to watch him play. And a lot of players are pushing to burn the first year of their ELC anyway. So let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.